perfection is just impossible, and it's something that I think as humans we are always trying to achieve, but we're never going to get there, because as humans we are imperfect. That is just our nature. So we're going to be surrounded by things that don't 100% fit our needs and that don't 100% work out, but that's okay. And that's kind of the beauty with life. When things go wrong and things show up that we don't expect or that we don't plan, we actually learn a lot from that. And yeah, I think challenges equals, you know, growth and strength and learning new things and developing into a more kind of mature, sophisticated thinking human. So language is really, really important. I believe that language kind of gives people an insight into who you are. The words that you use, the way that you phrase things shows your kind of mental state and how you view yourself. It gives people an insight into whether you're a confident person or of a doubtful person. I think we can give off a really good impression to people by means of how we phrase things. So if you're the kind of person that has something they want to share with the group and they'll happily do that, but you'll end it with, but I'm not 100% sure, or I could be wrong, or I just spoke a little rubbish. That kind of gives people an inkling that you're unsure. And that actually, I think, sometimes means that people don't trust what you have to say as much as they could do. And I know this is something that women in particular do, just because we doubt ourselves, which is understandable, given, you know, the world that we exist in, where we're constantly being doubted on a large scale. We don't see as many women in the higher up positions that, you know, men are taking up space in. Women are doubted. So if you're doubting yourself, I don't want you to blame yourself in any way or be nasty to yourself at all. It's really understandable that you are doubting yourself, because the world does doubt women. But I want you to know that you have so much value. You do, and you need to start believing in what you have to say. If you have watched a TV programme and it has inspired you and you've taken in lots of information that you want to share with your friends, have trust and faith that your passion and excitement for this topic is going to excite other people and teach other people things. Don't feel the need to say, oh, but I could be wrong, or I'm not sure at the end. Just say what you have to say and then wait for your response. I know it's really hard sometimes. I think in order to not come across as intimidating or showing off, we often end, you know, when we explain things with a I'm not sure, but or a little giggle. And, you know, in some ways that's actually quite sweet and endearing from my perspective. But I think we deserve to have faith in our words. We deserve to have faith in what we know. We have a lot of knowledge and wisdom to give. We must believe that. That is an affirmation that I want you to repeat to yourself right now if this is something you struggle with. I am wise. My words deserve to be heard by other people. I speak my mind. I have deep trust in myself. I speak confidently. I also think language is important, not just because, you know, it helps other people form an idea of us, but also it helps us form an idea of ourselves. If you're looking in the mirror and you're saying, you're ugly all the time, you start to believe that and you start to feel that and you start to kind of live that experience. I think ugly can be a feeling more than an actual look. I think when we feel ugly, we feel negative and we notice all the bad things going on around us rather than the good things. We're not grateful. Language can help us move and shift into more of a beautiful way of living. When we look in the mirror and we think, look how lucky I am to exist in this body and to have these friends messaging me now, checking up on me. Look how lucky I am to have this phone that connects me to my family, and I'm so grateful. Use your words to kind of shape your life in a beautiful way, and also to help you become a better version of yourself. Something I want to say is, I used to say all the time, oh, I'm just bad at speaking in groups, I'm bad at articulating my words. And this is something that I actually have, you know, chatted to people in the comment sections of my YouTube videos about how I feel confident to speak like this. And people say, how do you do it? I mean, you speak so clearly, blah, blah, blah. I used to really, really struggle with this. I used to think, I'm not clever enough, I can't do this, I can't speak to people, people won't have trust in my words and what I have to say, people don't believe that I've got important information to give. But I was saying this to myself, I was uttering these words every day. You can't speak about these things, you're bad at talking to groups, you're bad at this, you're bad at that. And that became my narrative. It wasn't until I decided to change my narrative that I changed as a consequence. I started saying to myself, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, I'm going to post this video, I'm going to research it, so I'm going to know my stuff. And, you know, that confidence that I was talking about, it became my reality. When you speak to people, say, you know, I believe this, rather than, I think this is true, but I'm not sure. If that's just, you know, what feels natural to you, I don't want you to change who you are. But I do think a lot of us do that because we're feeling a bit insecure and we want other people to feel comfortable around us. We don't want to come across as intimidating, particularly to men. I think that's something I do. I tend to speak with less oomph and confidence around men because I've been taught and I've learned to lower my light a little bit so I don't come across as an opinionated, scary, intimidating woman. And that's a label that annoys me, that is given out too freely and too quickly to women. Oh, she's intimidating. Is she intimidating, or is she just speaking her mind, like a man would do, but is being perceived in a completely different way? Give yourself 3 seconds to act. Sorry, there's a bird outside my window who's being so vocal. I actually quite love that he's out there just chirping away, so we'll continue. Give yourself 3 seconds to act. I'm sure this is something that I've actually picked up elsewhere from a podcast. I think it's so useful because I'm the kind of person that will say, I'll do it tomorrow. Next week, I'm going to start working out. Next week, I'll start eating healthy. Tonight, I will cook something healthy, but for now, I'm going to indulge in this and it's not going to make me feel very good, but tonight, I start afresh. I'm the new Alessia. I am the queen of promising for tomorrow, as opposed to just being like, I'm doing this today for me, which is why recently I just decided to start doing things when I think of them. I had a thought the other day when I had just done a workout and I felt really good. I was like, I haven't meditated in ages. And I thought, let's just do it now. Let's get the ball rolling now. And I did, and it felt really, really good. It's the first couple of times that are the hardest to kind of form a habit and get into something that's good for you. So when you have that thought like, oh, I should start working out, if you can, work out. As soon as you have that thought, give yourself 3 seconds and then go and get into your workout gear. And then in the future, you know, you can be more picky with when you work out. But I think getting yourself into it is the hardest bit. So when you have that thought, like, I want to start eating healthy, go and make yourself a really healthy smoothie or something that feels healthy to you. I find this so incredibly useful. I also decided that I wanted to not go on my phone in the morning anymore. And I was like, how can I apply the 3-second rule to this now? Because it's not the morning, it's the afternoon. And I thought I'll move my charger from my bedroom to the living room so my phone can't be in there. So that was my way of kind of acting on it in 3 seconds. I think hesitation is the worst thing. Hesitation for me often ends up in me procrastinating and feeling overwhelmed and having this kind of decision paralysis. I don't know if you've heard of this, but this is something I get frequently. I'm going to quickly explain it to you. So the more options that we have, the more likely we are to get overwhelmed and not actually complete anything and to get quite drained of all our energy. I just quite like to act on the things that I want to do in the moment and not allow room for much hesitation. Obviously there's going to be times when I can't, you know, just jump up and do a workout because I've got to get some work done, but I'll just make a note of it and I will tell myself that I'm going to do it later and I'm not going to overthink it. Another thing that I want to talk about is having too many choices gives you decision paralysis. It drains you of your energy and it actually makes you quite ungrateful because you're trying to pick out the best of all the choices, but then that makes you try to look out for all the negatives. It makes you poke holes at opportunities, at the things that you could make use of. So at the moment, I'm trying to surround myself with less options, less choices. And one way that I'm doing that is, for example, I decided I wanted to do a yoga class and there were so many yoga classes in my area and I was, you know, a while ago I was getting so overwhelmed by all the different options and I wanted to make sure that I was going to a place that was going to make me feel safe, that was going to be a good amount of money, that was going to be quite close to my house. Because I had so many options, I was just getting overwhelmed with it all. So instead of lingering on it, later down the line, I just decided to just go to one and not overthink it. And it was great. And yes, it's not going to be perfect, but I think that's something we need to embrace. The choices that we make are never going to be perfect. There's always going to be something wrong with it. But I would rather have that minor inconvenience than spend hours torturing myself by trying to make that decision in the first place and make sure it's the perfect decision. Perfection is just impossible, and it's something that I think as humans we are always trying to achieve, but we're never going to get there, because as humans we are imperfect. That is just our nature. So we're going to be surrounded by things that don't 100% fit our needs and that don't 100% work out, but that's okay. And that's kind of the beauty with life. When things go wrong and things show up that we don't expect or that we don't plan, we actually learn a lot from that. And yeah, I think challenges equals, growth and strength and learning new things and developing into a more kind of mature, sophisticated thinking human. If you think something negative about yourself, I want you to tell yourself the exact opposite. I want you to prove the opposite is true. So say you've told yourself, I'm not good at speaking to large groups of people. Likelihood is every time you are in a situation where you're in a big group and someone's asked, how's work going? Because you've got that narrative that you're bad at speaking to people, you're then gonna think that before you go on to respond to that person who's asked how work's going. And that's gonna completely disrupt your flow of thoughts. I'm sure you would be able to answer things quite clearly because, hey, you're working every day, you've got things to talk about. But because you've got this narrative and this label that you're a bad speaker and communicator when in a group situation, you jump to that because labels are so easy to just switch to. It's so easy to remind yourself of your own labels because they're short and quick. I think that's a time to challenge yourself and to actually just think, this is a narrative that I've told myself for a while, but I can shift away from that because I'm in a safe situation. I trust the people I'm with, and actually I've got lots to share because I've got this going on at work and this going on, and I have these thoughts about what's been going on at work that I really want to share with my partner. So why can't I share it with a big group of people?
Hello beautiful people, I'm really quickly interrupting this video because I've got a new phone case that I'm really excited about, and today I'm working with Wave. They create incredible phone cases. The phone cases are biodegradable and they're made from wheat straw, which is a unique solution to the kind of millions of plastic phone cases that end up getting disposed. And the phone cases are 100% recyclable. They're very kind of minimalist as well, which I really enjoy. I've got these two colours. I think I've been having the pink one on the back of my phone for a while, so I think I'm going to shift to the yellow one today to make my day a bit brighter because it's a bit cloudy today in England. Another thing that I love that the Wave offer is you can return your phone cases when they're kind of at the end of their life and receive a discount on a new one. So here is the pink one. Let's change into the yellow one. I really like it. I really like the little specks that you can see along here, and it's really nice to hold. Wave are also really good, and I feel really good partnering with them because they support really good causes like Surfers Against Sewage and the Wave Project. Also, I didn't realise until now, but these are military grade drop tested, and they also have a 2mm lip here, which is good because if you're like me, you probably drop your phone on its face quite a lot. But yeah, very pretty. I've got a little discount code that I'm going to put in the description box. I've got 20% off for you guys. The code I'll leave in the description, but it is Alessia20 in capitals.
I just want to say I am really glad that we've got this kind of community where we can share our stuff and our advice with each other. I very much am a learner, just like you guys are learners. I think we're all learners and we can all learn things from each other. So if you want to teach me something, share something that might help me improve, I'm all ears. Please comment in the comment section now, because at the moment I'm wanting to be more inspired and I want to grow and learn more. I think I'm at a point where I'm ready for more growth. I think I've been in this buffer period where I've been processing things and just sitting with things, and now I'm ready for more. So teach me some stuff, share something that you've learnt recently in the comment section with me. I'd really love that. I hope you have a really great day. I really enjoyed filming this, so I hope you felt that. Lots of love.